Welcome back to my channel. My name is Veronica and I run a small crochet business called Looping Teddies, and welcome back to a new market prep vlog. It is currently Wednesday. It is July 1st, the start of a new month, and I have a very exciting challenge that I want to challenge myself to for this month. So I have these little guys, my mini plushies as I like to call them, and these are my absolute best sellers at my markets. Little kids grab them, everybody likes to have those. I often also offer them as keychains, so that is a popular option. So definitely these little guys are the stars of my shows, which is why I really want to make as many as I can in this month. My goal for this month would be to make 200 of these little guys over the course of the whole month. And this week, the first week of July, I'm starting with the absolute bestseller out of my mini plushies, which are these little penguins. So just two different colors as examples. These have been so popular ever since I started making them. For my spring shows, I prepped 50 of those, and I only had 4 days of spring markets and I'm left with 25. So that's a little over 6 of these guys sold at every single market day. So definitely very popular. And since I have 20 market days coming up for my fall and winter season, I cannot over prep those. So that is why for the first week of my mini plushie challenge, I definitely want to focus on these mini penguins. And my goal is to make 50 of them so that I have a total of 75 of those for my inventory, since I have 25 left currently. And then my ideal inventory, since as you might know, I'm currently still going for my goal of having 10,000 euro in inventory for my fall and winter season. So in that 10,000 euro inventory plan, I have planned to make 150 of them. So if I can make 50 of them this week, we're halfway to the goal of 150 for these little guys. So definitely crazy numbers there. And I'm still not sure if I will ever be able to achieve my 10,000 euros. But for now, I'm aiming for half. So 50 of these little guys to make. I have planned out my numbers for the different colors. So this is 75. I'm so sorry. I wrote out my list in German so I can go through that and kind of talk a little about my plan. I also need to go through my current inventory, look at the 25 that I have left and fill that in, because that is 75 and we already have 25 of those completed. So yeah, that is something I need to do as well. But let me read out all of the different colors that I want to prep. So starting with light blue, and I can show you an example for a couple of these since I have a couple of those left. So light blue, I want to prep 8 of. That is like a standard color, kind of like in the middle. It's pretty popular, not one of the best sellers. So that is why we're aiming for 8. And I have decided it would be smarter for me to actually go through the inventory as I am reading through this list and marking off the ones that I currently have. So I want to have 8. I currently have 4 of them, so 4 more left to make. And then the next color that I want to prep is dark blue. So here is an example. I still have some of those left. So I currently have 3 of them and I want to have 5 of them in total. So they were not as popular as the lighter version, but I still want to have them since they are a nice contrast in this sea of very colorful little penguins. Then we have turquoise, which is this that I already showed you. So I want to have 7 of those. I currently have 6 of those left. So that is another standard color, but just not quite as popular as light blue. So slightly less for those. Then the next color is kind of similar. We have dark turquoise. So kind of like the same but darker, and I also want to make 7 of those, and I currently also have 6 left. So only one in each type of turquoise left to make. So that is a quick category to fill out. Then I have one of the most popular colors, which is light purple. So this little guy here, for example, I currently have 3 in my inventory and I want to prep 10. Since they were pretty popular, I think I prepped 9 of those for my spring markets, so 6 sold, or like 2/3 of them sold. So definitely a good idea to have a lot of them. Then I have 2 color variations where I currently can't show you any of them because they were so popular, which is dark purple, so kind of like this but in a darker version. What I can actually show you is the colors for them. So I have actually started to prep a couple of upper halves for these penguins, and I started with the dark purple since they are so popular. So this is kind of like the upper half, so this part for the penguin, and then the lower half I actually want to make 2 different versions. So one will be this, so the one that's on top here will be the lighter color for this one, and then I also want to do this color combo, which ended up being pretty popular in the spring. So I think in the spring I prepped like 5 of the dark purple, and I had sold out of them after I think 2 markets or so. So definitely a lot of potential here, which is why I want to prep 15 in total in the dark purple. So 8 in this body color and 7 in the more like cool toned body color. So 15 in total, definitely a huge best seller. And then the next one is also pretty popular. It's pink. So I don't have any to show you. I just started prepping these upper halves for the pink ones. So this is their upper half and I want to make 10 of them. I had, I think, just a couple, like 3 or so for my spring markets, and I completely sold out of them. So yeah, 10 of those to be made. After that, I have another color combo where I can't show you any currently. It's kind of like a salmony red, orange, pinkish color. I had 2 of those and I sold them pretty quickly in the spring. So now I want to make 7 of them to kind of try them out and see how popular this color combo is in the winter. And then finally, the last couple of penguins are kind of like not all that popular colors, but they are, I think, important to kind of like balance out all of the blue, purple, turquoise, kind of like cool toned colors and have a little more variation in there. So I only want to prep 2 in each of those. One of them is green. So this, I actually really like it, but apparently it's not all that popular. I still have both of them left that I prepped for the spring. So I prepped 2 and I only want to make 2. So that is a completed category of little penguins. And then I want to make, I currently don't have any, 2 in orange. So another contrast color to have a little more variation in my little basket on my display. So 2 orange. And then I had 2 left, so the total currently is 73. And I had 2 left and I kind of just wrote down random, so we shall see. Once I start making the mini penguins, I might have some new ideas for some other color combos, like a half blue, half purple or something like that. So that's a little category for me to have fun with and make 2 that are like very different than all of the other little penguins, and for me to try something out. So those are all 75 that I want to make. And now, as I told you, I already started to work on some of the upper halves. So actually I have quite a lot of them done. So we have, not gonna take them all out, I actually decided right now. I have all 15 of the dark purple already made. So that is like 5 rounds. Yeah, that's like 5 rounds, and the total penguin is 10 rounds. So kind of like about halfway done. Not really, because you still have to add eyes and all of that, but it feels like a very good chunk of those penguins is completed by that point. And I really like to kind of bulk make a lot of these mini items. Penguins are not one of the types of plushies that you can really easily bulk make, because the eyes are at the row where it kind of switches color, so you can't put in all of the eyes at the same time, because you kind of need to work on the lower half and kind of complete that in one go. So it's more of like a prep all of the upper halves and then work on them one by one after that situation, which is why they are not one of my absolute favorite mini plushies to make, since they are like not all that bulk preppable. But I have come to really enjoy them since they are so popular at my markets. So yeah, apart from the dark purple upper halves, I also have these pink upper halves, as I already showed you. So I have all 10 of those completed, so we can move on and start making those little guys now. I decided to start with these two colors since they are some of my best sellers and I currently don't have any of those. So yeah, I thought that was like the biggest priority, to start working on those colors. So for now, as you can tell, I'm at the studio. I will be here for like a little while longer, so I will start working on those little penguins and then I will keep on doing that tonight. My goal is to keep on working on these upper halves that I already have prepared to have some actual finished plushies. My goal would be, today is Wednesday, ideally I would love to have all 50 of those completed by Sunday, so that gives me 5 days and 50 mini penguins, which is 10 a day, which is kind of ambitious, but 3 out of those 5 days is the weekend, so we shall see if I can get that done. Definitely would be a huge goal to do that. So yeah, without talking your ear off any more than I have already done, let me start working, and I might check in later with you guys or show you my progress tomorrow. Alright guys, it's a little while later. I am about to head out of the studio for today, since I do need to have dinner soon. So I was able to finish 2 of the dark purple little guys. So this is the cool toned version. I think I prefer the warm toned version a little more, but still I think these are so cute. And it's so interesting to me that these are so popular, but the dark blue really isn't, even though the lighter versions are kind of like the same in popularity. Kind of interesting to me. But yeah, for now, 2 of these little guys finished to get to my goal of 10 a day. We still need to make 8, which is possible. Not entirely sure. It takes me around 10 more minutes once I have the upper half of them finished to complete them. So that would be like 80 more minutes, which is almost 1.5 hours. So maybe slightly ambitious, but we shall see. I will check in with you guys tomorrow and show you if we actually got all 10 of them complete today. Alright friends, it is day 2 of our mini penguin making journey and I have quite the update for you guys, so let's get into it. I showed you last night before I left at the studio I had finished these 2 little guys, and ever since then I actually made 3 more in the same color, so we are now at 5 out of 7 in this color combo. So definitely quite the chunk done there. And then I went through my already prepared upper halves, and earlier yesterday I told you I had made all 10 of the tops of the little pink penguins that I wanted to make, but when I went through it again I actually realized I had only 8 of those made up, so in this color. And because of that, I did the only logical thing and made 2 more tops instead of focusing on actually finishing some of these. And I also decided to make some like even brighter pink penguins. So this is what I made. So this top color is the bottom color there. So we will have a lighter pink version and then this like really pink, bright pink version. And I made 2 of those. So yeah, we will have a little more contrast for that as well. So 2 more finished there. And then I made even more mini penguins last night. So I was definitely pretty busy. And for some reason I decided to not work on the finished tops that I had anymore, but instead focus on a different color and actually make all of them that I was missing. So I worked on blue little penguins, and I want to have 8 of those. I still have 4 in my inventory from spring, so I had to make 4 more, and I made 2 just like this, just like the ones I have in my inventory. And then I found this color, which has like little speckles in it, little colorful ones. On this one you can even see it a little more. This one has a lot more speckles than this. But yeah, it's kind of like a similar blue tone, or like almost the same. And I thought it was like a little fun twist to these blue penguins to have 2 with little speckles in them. So yeah, those were the final 4 mini penguins I made last night. So in total we're actually now up to 11, which is quite good. So 1 more than I wanted to have yesterday, but it's also like the evening already for today and I haven't made a single one. So I will definitely start using up some of these half-made penguins and start working on those. My goal tonight is to at least make all of the ones in the purple color that are still missing, which is 2 more, and then move on to making the warm toned purple ones. So this color, I actually need to check if I have any more of this color over here, because if I don't, I might need to make a couple more just like that, because I'm not sure if I actually have any of that. So yeah, that is probably the first thing that I need to do. And yeah, I'm about to head out of the studio. I had to do quite a lot of candle making. I've been getting a lot of wholesale orders again, which is awesome, but also takes so much crochet time away from me. So yeah, that is why I'm not really doing a lot of crochet work in the studio, mostly like check-ins over here. But yeah, tonight definitely will crochet a little more, and I will check in with you guys tomorrow and hopefully show you a couple more finished mini penguins. Alright friends, it's now Friday, which means it is day 3 of trying to make 50 penguins in just 5 days. And yeah, today I actually have quite the busy day, because from the other 2 days I only have 11 finished penguins. So to keep up my quota of 10 penguins a day, I should be making 19 mini penguins today. So that sounds kind of like ambitious. So far I have 4 done, so let me show them to you. I have the final 2 in the cold version of the dark purple, and then I started making my absolute favorite color combo, the warmer version. So this is kind of like the difference, the 2 dark purples that are kind of like the most popular colors. So yeah, 2 and 2 so far. So that leaves me with 15 more penguins to make. So yeah, we shall see. I don't have to work today, so that is awesome. That gives me a lot more time. I do have a couple of candle orders to finish. I have like 50 kilograms of wax waiting for me at home in front of my front door, so I'm not looking forward to carrying that up the stairs. So yeah, but apart from that, 15 penguins to make today. I still have quite a lot of the upper halves of the mini penguins that I prepped before starting this video. So I have 6 more of the dark purple. These will be in the warm tone. So yeah, we can use all of those up today hopefully and get the dark purple penguins finished finally. And then I have 8 of these pink upper halves. So we should get through all of those as well, because that means that's like 13 more upper halves, and 13 and 4, that is 17. So we should finish all of the penguins where I have the upper half started, and then like 2 more. So quite ambitious. Not sure if that can be done in a day, but yeah, I'm trying my best to do that. I also already found another skein of this yarn. I wasn't sure if I had any more of that, and that's not going to be enough for 6 more baby penguins, but I do have another skein, and I actually need to write down the color number for this because this is like one of my new favorite purples. I just crashed the yarn label by squishing the yarn, so that has never happened to me before. But that is like one of my favorite purple tones, and I do have quite a lot of different purple tones. I also have some more down here, so I have definitely tried out my fair share of purple tones, and this is my new favorite. So I definitely want to get more of that. That is my final little skein for this really cute color. But as you can tell, I have so much yarn, so I'm actually kind of like on a yarn ban. I'm trying to use up a lot of my stash. I have a lot of the same color, and I'm trying to get that down like up there in my shelf. You can see I have like 8 more skeins of the same baby pink, and I have 1 more at home. So that is definitely too much. I need to cut down on all of this yarn and yeah, condense that a little down, because I used to need to get a lot of yarn whenever it was available because chenille yarn wasn't all that accessible in Germany, so I had to be quick and stock up while the online shops were stocked. But now the situation has improved so much and I can pretty much get all of the chenille yarn I want at all times. So there's really no need for me to have all of this stock in my studio taking up place. And yeah, that is one of the reasons why I am on a yarn ban. And I think making all of the mini plushies is a really good option to use up a lot of different colored yarns and a lot of like little scraps and all of that and get through my stash pretty quickly. So that is one of the reasons why I'm really excited to do this challenge. But yeah, that is enough talking your ear off with random information for now. I will keep on working on the mini penguins first over here, and then I will face my situation at home and carry up my wax before it melts in the sun. And then we will keep on working on the penguins back home. As I said, I have a lot of time to crochet today, so we shall see if I can make 15 more baby penguins. I will keep you updated, but for now, let me start working. Alright friends, it's now quite a while later. I'm back at the studio and I wanted to give you an update on my penguin making journey. So I actually got quite a lot done. So I have them all lined up in this little basket here. So these are all of the mini penguins that I currently have finished. So 10 of them in total. I finished the final 2 of the cool toned purple. Then I have 4 of the warm toned purple, so I have 4 of them left, I think, to make. And then 4 of the pink finished and 4 of those left as well. So yeah, 10 down and 9 more left to go. And I have 8 more upper halves. So yeah, I still think it's definitely doable. I still have a lot of time to crochet tonight. So yeah, I think that is like so cute in this little basket. I put them in here because I currently have a little like series going on my Instagram where I actually try and like appeal a little more to the German audience, which is why that will be in German if you are interested. But it's like a little vlog style reel challenge where I try and make 500 plushies for my next market in 100 days. And I've been doing like daily updates over there. So yeah, I wanted to do it aesthetically pleasing, and that is why they are in this little basket. But yeah, tonight definitely a couple more penguins to go. Not sure if we will get all the way to 19 today, but yeah, we're on a good way to actually catching up a little bit. So I will add them to my little basket here, which is also where I'm tracking all of the plushies that I have made for my little series on Instagram so far. So this is how much is currently in there. and it's been going on for a couple of days. So I've been having a lot of fun with that. I'm trying to like push my plushie business and get more people to check out my Etsy and maybe like even order some physical plushies online, because that has really died down this year, and I'm trying to kind of put myself out there a little more with that challenge. But yeah, now I will add them to my little basket, and I am over here to finish up a couple of candle things, and then tonight I will crochet a little more and show you all of the finished penguins tomorrow. Alright friends, it's now the next day. It is day 4 of my mini penguin making journey, and to be honest, it's not looking all that good for my mini penguins. I still have 29 to make, which means we are at a total of 21 completed mini penguins after 3 days. And yeah, I only finished one more mini penguin since I last spoke to you. So here is the first salmon colored mini penguin. I really like this color. It's definitely a nice contrast to some of the other more like cool toned blues, pinks, purples, all of that. So yeah, definitely a nice contrast there. I only have this one finished, and I'm currently working on the second one here. So about 2/3 of the way done there. But what I did, however, end up doing is I made all of the tops for these salmony pink mini penguins. I want to have 7, so I have 5 more tops right here. So I really want to get through at least those today to kind of catch up a little bit. And then I still have all of the tops for the rest of the dark purple and the pinks. So that's 8 more tops. That would be awesome to get done today. I do not know if that is possible, since I am yet again very busy with my candle business that has been kind of taken off. I have lots of wholesale orders to do, so that is taking up quite a lot of my non-working time. So yeah, that is what's going on. I will keep on working on the salmony pink penguins in between making candles, and I'm hoping to get through most of them, if not all of them, today. So yeah, I will give you an update later on and tell you a little more about my progress with these little guys. Alright friends, I'm now back at the studio. It is now Sunday, so the 5th day of working on my mini penguins, and yeah, I'm not sure if I can actually get all 50 of them done today. I have finished quite a lot since I last spoke to you. So yesterday when I last spoke to you, I think I was working on the salmony pink little penguins. So I wanted to make 7 of them, and I actually completed all of them. So here they are. I think they look absolutely cute and are definitely like a little different than a lot of other colors in my booth. So I'm glad I made all of them, and we have 7 more to be added to my bin. So that means we're now up to 28 completed mini penguins. But I didn't stop there. I also finally finished all of the other works in progress that I had for these mini penguins. So I had 4 more of the pink, which I now finished. You can't even see what they look like. So here they all are, all 4 of them completed. And that means we're now up to 10 for the pink little guys. And I think they are so cute. They are like very pastel-y, but I really like that. And people seem to really like that in the spring, so I'm glad I got those finished. So with those we're up to 32, and then I finished the final ones for the dark purple. So we have 4 more here. So those were the upper halves I already had finally finished and completed. So that means we're up to 36 of the mini penguins, which leaves us with 14 more to make. So let me read you my list of what is still left to do, and then I can give you an update on what I am currently working on. Okay, so I have 2 more dark blue. I have 1 more turquoise, 1 dark turquoise. We have 6 more in purple, but like the lighter version, not this one, because we don't have a lot of those left in my inventory, and they are also pretty popular. And then we have 2 orange, which are not super popular, but I still want to have them because they are like very different from the other colors. And then we have 2 random, so 1 of each of those colors, and I want to use some colors that I don't normally use just to see how those do. So that is the 14 that we still have left. And I do have 1 of the orange almost completed, so this is what it looks like. I ended up using a different orange for the top than I did in the spring, and I like it a lot better. I feel like these 2 colors work together a lot more, so I'm glad I did that change. And then I ended up running out of the yellow yarn back at home, so that is why he doesn't have a beak yet. So that is a quick penguin to finish, and then we will only have 13 more left. I also, however, have this bin with upper halves for these penguins. So I have both of the ones for the dark blue. I ended up making 1 regular dark blue and then 1 variegated, like little speckled dark blue, so we can finish those 2. I have 2 more turquoises. Both of these are the darker version, even though I wanted to make 1 in the light and 1 in the darker version. But I did find this color at home that I've had for a long time, and I feel like these would work together, and I really want to use that up because I'm honestly not a huge fan of this color. And yeah, I want to use up this partial skein throughout my market prep, so I thought that was a good idea to use some of that on 2 of these little guys. Then we have the other orange top, so we can make the other orange penguin. And then we have 4 of the purple tops out of the 6 that I want to make, and I actually have another one which is dark purple, so actually we have 5 of the 6 purple tops, and I ended up using the dark purple for one of them because I also have this scrap of speckled purple yarn, and I feel like these would work together, and I want to use up some of that for this penguin. And then I have 1 of the random tops, so we have this kind of like purplish gray. That is another scrap that I want to use up, so I have this, and I think I will combine that with purple to make this like very pastel-y penguin, and I think that will look very cute, and a lot of the purples are very popular, so I'm hoping that that will be a good seller. So we have all of the tops finished except for 2, and yeah, these are all of the ones that I will need to work on. I'm not sure if I will get all of that done while I'm over here since it's already after 5 today, but I will try my best and yeah, show you the results for that. But for now, let me finish up this one, and then I will keep on working on the other penguin parts. Alright friends, I am back at the studio. It's now the next day, so technically it's day 6 for my mini penguin challenge, but I did complete the whole list last night, so I didn't check in with you guys because that was kind of late, but there you can see I have all of them filled out. This feels so good to have accomplished. Here are the final little penguins that I made. So I finished the second orange little guy. This is like a lighter version. I also have this version as well, with like a little darker orange on the bottom. So we shall see which one does better, but overall I really like them a lot better with this top orange than I did last time. Then I finished the 2 turquoise little guys. I also really like those. Then we have my 2 random penguins, one very pastel-y that I actually really like. It kind of reminds me of like a shiny Pokemon or something like that. And then we have this dark berry one that I personally really enjoy. I know that like really dark colors usually don't do all that well, but I like to have them as contrast every once in a while. So I think that is really cute. Also, we have the dark blue penguins, one with a speckled top and one with a regular top. And then we have all of the purple penguins that were missing, 5 like this, and then 1 like this with the speckled bottom. I'm kind of trying to work through the speckled yarn a little bit here because I bought so much of it thinking I would use it a ton, but honestly I don't really gravitate towards it ever, so I'm kind of trying to use it up every once in a while for my projects because it's taking up quite a lot of space in my yarn shelf. You can't really see it, it's like in this bottom compartment, but still I want to kind of use it every once in a while. So now I will put up all of the 50 mini penguins on my desk and we will have a nice satisfying end shot for my little challenge. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was definitely quite the challenge, but I really like making mini plushies. I have also thought about my mini plushie challenge and I will actually kind of split it up over the course of the months. So I will not be trying to make 200 mini plushies in July anymore. I do have another challenge going on over on my Instagram and TikTok, and maybe by the time you're watching this video I have started to upload those to YouTube Shorts as well, where I try to make 500 plushies in 100 days for my next market, which is going really well. I've been gaining a lot of followers from that and I've been having a lot of fun with daily updates over there. And yeah, I think it would be kind of more interesting to kind of switch to some bigger items now. And also because I really like making small plushies, I think I want to save that joy for a little later. After making some bigger plushies, we can make mini plushies for a couple days every once in a while. So I hope you're not disappointed because of that decision. But yeah, that is just what works better for me now. And that's all I wanted to say. Thank you guys so much for watching this video all the way until the end. I will see you guys again next week for another video. So until then, bye!